This is Everyday Tension. Real stories based on real experiences about everyday conflicts people rarely talk about. This story was shared anonymously. If you'd like, you can support the channel by liking or subscribing and let me know in the comments where you're listening from. Here's what happened.
It started a long time ago. Maybe too long ago to remember exactly when it became normal. Jack is my twin brother. We're not identical, obviously. He's a guy. But we grew up close. Or as close as you can be when you're a boy and a girl sharing a childhood. We had our own friends, but at home, we were a team. I always thought that would last. He met Lisa when they were 25. I liked her at first. She was funny and sharp, and she made Jack happy in a way I hadn't seen before. He got quieter around her, but in a good way, like he didn't have to be the loudest one in the room anymore. They got married 2 years later. I was a bridesmaid. I remember standing there in the lavender dress, thinking my brother had built a real, solid life. I was happy for him. The first kid came a couple of years after that, a little girl they named Chloe. I was there at the hospital, not in the room, but in the waiting area. When Jack came out, his eyes were red, and he looked terrified and proud all at once. He hugged me so tight. "You're an aunt, Liv," he said. It felt like a big deal. That's when it began, I guess. Not with any big ask. Just a Liv, "Can you come over for an hour? We need to run to the store together. It's easier without the baby." Or, "We haven't slept in days. Could you just hold her for a bit so we can close our eyes?" Of course I said yes. What else would I do? She was my niece. She was this tiny, fragile thing, and I loved her immediately. I'd go over after work. I worked an office job, administrative stuff. It was fine. Nothing great, but it paid the bills. I'd sit on their couch with Chloe sleeping on my chest, and it was the most peaceful I'd felt in a long time. Lisa would nap. Jack would catch up on emails. It felt helpful. Then came their son, Ethan, 2 years after Chloe. And then, surprising everyone, another boy, Mason, just 18 months after that. 3 kids under 5. Their house was chaos. Wonderful, loud, toy-covered chaos. My visits became more regular. Every Thursday night, so they could have a date night. Every other Saturday afternoon, so Lisa could run errands or get her hair done. Sometimes, a whole weekend, if they wanted to get out of town. I never said no. I don't even think I ever hesitated. I'd just say, "Sure, what time?" I'd cancel my own plans. A movie with a friend, a tentative dinner date with a guy from a dating app. I'd reschedule my grocery shopping. It didn't feel like a sacrifice. It felt like what you do for family. The kids knew me. Chloe would run to the door when I arrived. Ethan would demand I read his dinosaur book for the 10th time. Mason would curl into my shoulder. During this time, my own life, well, it wasn't going the way I'd planned. I got married a year after Jack did. His name was Ben. We met at a friend's barbecue. He was kind, or seemed it. We wanted the same things, or so we said. A house, eventually. Kids, definitely. We tried for a baby for about a year after we got married. Nothing happened. We went to doctors. That's when I found out. There was a problem with me. The doctor used words like significant scarring and very low likelihood. He talked about options, but they all sounded expensive and uncertain and full of heartache. Ben changed after that. Not all at once. It was slow. He worked later. He got quieter. He stopped talking about the future. One night, he just said it. He said he loved me, but he couldn't see a life without children of his own. He said it wasn't fair to either of us. He left a month later. I found out through a mutual friend that he was seeing someone else already, a woman from his gym. The friend said, awkwardly, "I think she's pregnant, Liv. I'm so sorry." The divorce was quick and empty. We didn't have much to split. Just an apartment full of IKEA furniture and a silence that was heavier than any argument. After he left, the apartment felt huge and hollow. I'd come home from work and the quiet would press on my ears. That's when being at Jack and Lisa's house became more than just helping out. It became a refuge. The noise of the kids covered up the quiet in my head. Their needs were immediate and simple. Hunger, a bumped knee, a story, a hug. I could meet those needs. It was something I could do right. I poured everything into it. I learned their schedules. They knew that Chloe liked her sandwich cut into triangles, not squares. That Ethan needed his blue blanket to sleep. That Mason's favorite song was Wheels on the Bus, and you had to do all the motions. I stocked my apartment with sippy cups and extra pacifiers and children's Tylenol, just in case. I took them to the park, to the zoo, to the library for story time. People would sometimes smile and say, "Your kids are so cute." I never corrected them. It was a tiny, guilty thrill. For a few hours, I could pretend. Jack and Lisa got used to it. Of course they did. Why wouldn't they? They had a reliable, free, loving babysitter on call. Lisa started planning more things for herself. She joined a book club that met on Thursday nights, which was my regular night. She started taking weekend yoga classes. She'd go out for long lunches with her mum friends. Jack worked more. He was building his own contracting business, and it was taking off. He'd leave early and come home late. He'd kiss the kids goodnight when he got in, often after they were already asleep. Sometimes, on a Sunday night when I'd been there all weekend, he'd hand me a $20 bill. "For pizza," he'd say. Or he'd tell me to take something from their fridge. It felt awkward. I'd push the money back. "Don't be silly," I'd say. "We're family." He'd shrug and put it back in his wallet. I think he was relieved. I didn't see the resentment building. Maybe I didn't want to see it. Lisa started making little comments. She'd come home from her book club, find the kids asleep and the toys put away, and instead of thanking me, she'd say something like, "Wow, you got Mason to sleep. He fights it for me." Or, "You're so good at this. It's like you were born to be a nanny." It was meant to be a compliment, I think, but it always had a weird edge. Like she was observing a peculiar skill I had, not acknowledging a favor I was doing. Once, she came back from a weekend away with her college friends. I'd had the kids for 3 full days. The house was clean. The laundry was folded. Everyone was fed and happy. She walked in, dropped her suitcase, and sighed. "God, it's so much work just coming home to all this," she said, waving a hand at the living room, which was tidy. She didn't ask how my weekend was. She didn't ask how the kids were. She just started complaining about her friends snoring. I should have said something then, but I didn't. I just handed over a baby monitor and said I should get going. She gave me a quick, absent-minded hug. "You're a lifesaver, Liv," she said, already scrolling through her phone. The dinner was at my parents' house. A Sunday. My mum likes to do these big family meals every few months. Everyone was there. My parents, Jack and Lisa, and the 3 kids, me. The table was crowded. The kids were being kids, fussing with their food, asking for more juice, dropping forks. My mum was fluttering around, serving everyone. My dad was talking to Jack about some basketball game. It was normal. It was fine. I was sitting between Chloe and Ethan, cutting up chicken for Mason, in the high chair next to me. I felt useful. I felt like part of the engine of the family, keeping things running smoothly. Lisa was talking to my mum about a kitchen renovation. She looked relaxed. She'd had a spa day that week, she mentioned. A long massage. Then, During a lull in the conversation, Jack tapped his glass with his fork. Not really for a speech, just to get attention. He smiled at me. "I just want to say," he started, his voice warm, "we are so lucky to have Liv. Seriously. The best aunt these kids could have. I don't know what we'd do without her." I felt my face get warm. I looked down at my plate. I was pleased. It was nice to be acknowledged. Lisa laughed. It was a bright, loud laugh. Everyone looked at her. "Oh, come on, Jack," she said, still smiling. "Of course she's a great aunt and a perfect free babysitter." She turned her smile on me. It didn't reach her eyes, but we all know why she's always so happy to watch the kids. The table got a little quieter. My mum stopped serving. My dad cleared his throat. Lisa kept going. She was on a roll. She had an audience. I mean, let's be real. She's a little obsessed with them. It's sweet, but it's kind of obvious. She took a sip of her wine. She probably babysits so much because she doesn't have a life of her own. What else is she going to do? The air left the room. Or maybe it was just my lungs. I couldn't get a breath. I stared at a green bean on my plate. It was very green. Jack chuckled. Not a mean chuckle, but an uncomfortable one. A go-along-with-it chuckle. "Honestly, Olivia," he said, using my full name like he was teasing a child, "if you love our kids so much, maybe you should be a better babysitter. Our youngest still can't count. Lisa does it all. She's a great mum and still has time for herself. She knows how to balance life." I looked up at him. His face was blurred. I couldn't see his expression clearly. I could hear Lisa's voice in my head, looping. "She doesn't have a life of her own." Then Lisa added the final thing. She said it lightly, like it was the most obvious joke in the world. "She's pretending they're hers, so she doesn't have to face the fact that she'll never have a family of her own. She's too lazy and too desperate to build her own life, so she stays close to ours instead. She'll never have a family of her own." The words hung in the air over the dinner table, right next to the smell of roast chicken and gravy. No one said anything. My mum opened her mouth and then closed it. My dad shifted in his chair. Jack took a big drink of his beer. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I didn't get up and leave. I just sat there. I felt myself shrinking down into the chair, becoming very small. I picked up my fork and tried to put the green bean in my mouth, but my hand was shaking so badly I had to put the fork back down. I just held my hands in my lap, under the table, and pressed them together until my knuckles were white. The conversation started up again after a minute. Someone asked about the basketball schools. Lisa started talking about the kitchen renovation again. It was like a switch had been flipped. The moment was over for them. For me, it was just beginning. I stayed until the end of dinner. I helped my mum clear the plates. My hands were steady by then, numb. I washed dishes. Lisa dried. She was humming. She bumped my hip with hers in the crowded kitchen. "You okay?" she asked, casually, like she just asked if I wanted more potatoes. "Fine," I said. My voice sounded normal. It was strange. "Good," she said. "Hey, are you free next Friday? Jack and I were thinking of catching that new movie." I looked at her. She was smiling at me, her head tilted. She had no idea at all. Or maybe she did, and she just didn't care. "I'll check my calendar," I said. I drove home in a blank silence. I walked into my dark, quiet apartment. I didn't turn on the lights. I sat on the couch in the dark and replayed it. Every laugh, the look on Jack's face, the tone of Lisa's voice. Free babysitter, doesn't have a life of her own, never had a family of her own, too lazy, too desperate. I thought about all the Thursday nights, all the Saturday afternoons, The weekends, the cancelled plans, the tears I'd wiped, the nightmares I'd soothed, the school projects I'd helped with, the birthday parties I'd planned, the love, the sheer amount of love I had poured into those children, into their family. And it had all been reduced to that, a punchline, a pathetic little joke about a lonely, barren woman clinging to someone else's life. I didn't sleep that night. I just stared at the ceiling. By morning, the hurt had hardened into something else. A cold, clear decision. I didn't make a scene. I didn't send an angry text. I just stopped. My phone rang that next Thursday afternoon. It was Lisa. I let it go to voicemail. She called again an hour later. I silenced my phone. She sent a text. "Hey, movie night tonight? We'll be back by 11. Let me know if you need the car seats." I didn't reply. Jack called on Friday. "Liv, you okay? Lisa said she couldn't get a hold of you for yesterday. Everything all right?" "I'm fine," I said. "Oh, good. So, about tomorrow, Lisa's got that yoga thing and I've got to meet a client. Could you come by around 1? I took a breath. The words felt heavy in my mouth. "I can't tomorrow, Jack." There was a pause. "Oh, okay. Something come up?" "Yes," I said. It wasn't a lie. Something had come up. My self-respect had come up. "All right. Maybe next weekend then?" "I'll have to check," I said. "My schedule's filling up." Another pause, longer this time. I could hear the confusion in his silence. This had never happened before. "Okay. Well, let us know. I will." I hung up. The first few weeks were the hardest. Not because of them, but because of me. The guilt was a physical thing. A weight in my stomach. I thought about the kids constantly. Was Chloe asking for me? Was Ethan looking for his dinosaur book? Who was putting Mason down for his nap? I imagined them confused, missing me. That hurt almost more than the insult. My phone buzzed a lot. Texts from Lisa. "The kids miss their Aunt Liv," with a cute photo. "We're in a bind this Tuesday, any chance? Hope you're not still mad about that dinner thing. You know I was just kidding around." I didn't answer most of them. Once, I replied to the one about the dinner thing. I wrote, "It didn't feel like a joke." She wrote back 5 minutes later, "OMG Liv, don't be so sensitive. You know we love you." I didn't write back. Jack showed up at my apartment one Saturday afternoon. He looked tired. He didn't have the kids. He just stood in my doorway. "Can I come in?" I let him in. He sat on my couch, the same couch I'd sat on with a sleeping baby so many times. "What's going on, Liv?" he asked. "The kids are asking for you. Lisa's stressed out. We've had to get some teenager from down the street to sit, and she charges $20 an hour. It's a nightmare." I just looked at him. He didn't say he missed me. He didn't ask if I was hurt. He said Lisa was stressed, and it was costing them money. "I'm just busy," I said. "Doing what?" The question wasn't curious. It was skeptical. "Things," I said. It was a stupid answer, but it was all I had. I was busy rebuilding the walls around my life. That was a thing. "Look," he said, running a hand through his hair. "If this is about what Lisa said, come on. You know how she is. She doesn't think before she talks." It was a stupid comment. Just let it go. "It wasn't a comment, Jack," I said. My voice was quiet. It was the truth. What do you both really think? "That's not true," he said, but he didn't sound convinced. He sounded annoyed. "We appreciate you. You know that. But we're family. Families joke around. You're being really rigid about this." Rigid. That was the word he used. Not hurt. Not justified. Rigid. "I'm not babysitting anymore," I said. The words came out flat. Final. He stared at me. "What? Never?" "No," Because of one joke? Because of what the joke meant, I said. Because I finally understood what I am to you. A free service, a convenience, and a pathetic one at that. Jesus, Olivia, don't be so dramatic. He stood up. Fine. If that's how you want to be. But the kids are going to suffer for it. They love you. Are you really going to punish them because your feelings got hurt? He walked out before I could answer. The question hung in the air of my apartment. Are you punishing them? Maybe I was. But wasn't I being punished for loving them? It was all so tangled. My mom called a week later. Honey, Jack says you're not helping out with the kids anymore. That's right. Is everything okay between you? I told her what happened at the dinner. Not all the details, but enough. She sighed on the other end of the phone. A long, tired sigh. Oh, Olivia, Lisa can be tactless. You know that, but she doesn't mean any harm. And those children need you. They have parents, I said. It's not the same. You're their aunt. Family helps family. I did help, I said. For years. It wasn't help anymore. It was being taken advantage of, and then laughed at. Don't let pride get in the way of love, my mum said. It sounded like a phrase she'd been saving up. After that, the calls and texts trickled off. I saw them at the next family dinner, 2 months later. I saw them safely, but they felt so much more excited than I had and wanted. Jolie hugged my legs. Aunt Liv, where have you been? She asked. I've been right here, sweetie, I said, which was a non-answer. Lisa gave me a tight smile. Look who decided to grace us with her presence, she said. It was supposed to be light, but it landed with a thud. Jack barely looked at me. He was busy trying to get Mason to eat a dinner roll. I talked to the kids. I asked Chloe about school. I helped Ethan. But I didn't offer to take them to the bathroom. I didn't cut up anyone's food. I just sat and ate my meal. When Lisa got up to get more water, she had to take the baby with her. She seemed irritated by the inconvenience. That was months ago now. I see the kids occasionally, at holidays or if my parents have everyone over. I bring them presents. I ask them about their lives. But I don't offer to take them anywhere. I don't volunteer to watch them. The boundary is there, a clear, invisible line I have drawn around myself. Jack and I are civil, we make small talk. It's like talking to a friendly acquaintance. The twin connection, the team from childhood, it's gone. Or buried so deep I can't find it. Sometimes I miss my brother, but I'm not sure he's there anymore. The man he is now is Lisa's husband, the father of 3, the business owner. He's not my teammate. Lisa is mostly just coldly polite. I think she's genuinely bewildered by my reaction. In her mind, she made a joke, a slightly mean joke, but a joke. She can't understand why the free childcare stopped because of it. She's told other people in the family, I've heard, that I've become selfish and unreliable. I've started doing things for myself. I joined a pottery class on Thursday nights. It's quiet and messy and has nothing to do with anyone else. I go to movies alone. I've reconnected with a couple of old friends. I'm trying to date again, slowly. It's hard. The idea of building a life with someone, the risk of it all falling apart again, it's terrifying. But I'm trying. The love for the kids hasn't gone away. That's the hard part. I still love them fiercely. Sometimes I see a picture of them on my mum's fridge and my chest aches. I miss the weight of Mason falling asleep on me. I miss Chloe's endless questions. I miss Ethan's serious little face when he explained dinosaurs. I feel their absence in my life like a missing limb. But then I feel their absence in my life like a missing limb. But then I remember the dinner. And the ache gets mixed with something harder, something that helps me stay away. I don't know if I made the right call, There's no rule book for this. Should I have yelled at her right then? Should I have had it out with Jack privately? Maybe, but I didn't. I just left. I left the dinner, and then I left their lives, in all the ways that required anything from me. I think about it less now. The hurt has faded into a dull sort of background noise, but it's still there. A low hum of sadness and betrayal that I carry with me. It comes back sharp sometimes, like when my mum mentions how tired Lisa looks, or when I see a father pushing his daughter on a swing at the park. I built my life around being needed by them. Now I have to figure out how to need things for myself. It's slower, it's quieter. Some days it feels pointless. Other days, there's a glimmer of something. The satisfaction of a finished pottery mug, even if it's lopsided. The peace of a quiet Sunday with no obligations. I don't know if they'll ever really understand what they did. I doubt it. To them, it was a moment. To me, it was the moment the mirror cracked, and I finally saw the reflection clearly. It wasn't a picture of a beloved sister and aunt. It was a picture of a utility. A convenient, laughable utility. So I'm here, in my quiet apartment, with my lopsided mug, trying to build a life that belongs only to me. It's not a big, exciting life. It's small and uncertain. But it's mine. And for now, that has to be enough.